but it's an imperative that your power stays on. Chief Kidd and myself, we've been in constant contact with Entergy to make sure that they are fully prepared for the kind of storm that Texans should expect every single year. This is not an unusual storm. It's a storm that we are equipped and should be equipped to deal with. That includes power companies being equipped to deal with the storm. We just got reassurances from Entergy. They are prepared for this. And in other regions of the state of Texas, we have received similar reassurances. That said, it's one thing to say you're prepared. It's another to deliver on that preparation. My expectation, your expectation, is that either no one will lose power, or in the event that power lines get blown down by wind, that power is restored within hours, not within days. Texans should not have to go without power for days on end in response to what should be a relatively minimal storm compared to some other types of storms that Texas has dealt with in the past. Bottom line, Texans need to know that we're doing everything that needs to be done to be fully prepared for this, from the state level, from the local level, to the power level. Now it's time for all of us to deliver. Next, we're going to Judge Brannick.
Well, thank you, Governor. We appreciate you, as always, being here, as you've been here during all of our prior natural disasters, some of which have been very significant. I, for one, am extremely appreciative of the state of Texas. Although not with the county at the time, I was here during Hurricane Rita, and after that, while with the county, with Humberto, Gustav, Edward, Ike, Imelda, Harvey. And I've noticed that over the last 20 years, the state's taken a much more holistic approach to emergency preparation, response, and recovery actions. And you know, they have such a great relationship, and have forged relationships with all of the other state agencies and federal agencies that have expedited the supply of needed assets, you know, whether it's search and rescue or debris assistance or housing recovery with the GLO or whatever the case may be. We've seen a much more integrated approach to those response efforts. We've also, in past disasters, had the state advocate on our behalf to receive CDBG disaster recovery money, flood mitigation assistance monies. And so as a result, our drainage systems are much better off today than they were when we had Harvey. Our seawall is being improved because of advocating with our federal counterparts for under the Water Resources Development Act. And so, you know, I can't say enough good about the partnership that we've had and the assistance that y'all have provided, and the communications that we've enjoyed with the state. And I, for one, am deeply appreciative. Also want to say that during Beryl and during other storms where we've had power outages, Entergy Texas has brought to bear all the resources necessary for quick recovery, and we have not experienced the types of episodes that Houston experienced during Beryl, with, you know, delays because of inadequate resources brought to bear.
Good to hear. Judge?
Well, same thing. You know, Judge Brannick always does a really good job of covering all the details, and before I get to, so, but same thing. I just appreciate you coming. I appreciate what the state does. You know, I wasn't here as long as he has been. I've only been in this position for 5 years, and so I'm kind of catching some of the last recent changes that TDM has done, but I know it's a lot easier and a lot more efficient and effective for us to get stuff from one location. We make one phone call, and then we get a lot of the resources that I think we used to have to chase down to get it. Having, you know, Speaker Phelan as well, Senator Nichols, these folks that we can call and talk to, they always answer the phone. I know sometimes they'd probably like not to, but they do. We have a huge amount of resources that we have to our availability. My emergency management coordinator, Joel Ordwayne, does a fantastic job. We all coordinate together, all the counties coordinate together in this region because it affects all of us. And even if it doesn't hit us direct, we want to help our neighbors, and we all do that. And so it's just important that we're able to do that now, and that we're able to kind of keep that on track. Again, to our neighbors in Louisiana, we want to, we wish them the best, and our prayers are with them. But we are prepared in Orange County. We're prepared if this thing does make a change. We know that we're ready to go. Entergy, again, to everybody's point, they have done a really good job in the past with making sure we have quick recovery. And we have very little power loss, and if we do, it's recovered very fast. So we appreciate that. Our other agencies with TxDOT, from TxDOT, Parks and Wildlife, all the different agencies, GLO, everybody coming in to help. It's been a very good effort to it, and then when we have events like this, we have this that takes place, and people get to know that we are prepared and we're ready to go in case this thing turns. So, but thank you.
Got it. Good job. Mayor?
Well, Governor, welcome to Beaumont, Texas. It's a pleasure to have you here. Wish it was under different circumstances, but we're grateful for the state. We're grateful for all the state resources that are here and have been so helpful. And certainly, the city of Beaumont, we want to remind all our residents to be vigilant and pay attention to this storm. It still has a long ways to go, and we want to make sure that we keep all our residents safe. I know our Emergency Operations Center is stood up, ready to go. We're well prepared. So are all our departments within the city, and we'll certainly respond and meet the needs of all our residents. But we do want to make sure we keep them well informed, and really appreciate the local and state partnerships that we have.
You got it.
Thank you.
Chief?
Thank you, Governor. And I want to thank the elected officials here at this table. It is great communicating with them and knowing that you're on the front line of taking care of your citizens as well. Governor, you mentioned 24 state agencies focused on this mission. That's over 1,100 men and women traveling from outside of the area to support our state agency employees that are already here, supporting our local partners and local governments, police, fire, and EMS that are here. So I just want to take a second to thank those 1,100 men and women that are spending time away from their families, away from their homes, to be here to support Texans in time of need. We've been in contact with our counterparts in Louisiana. We are ready to offer assistance to them if needed, but I need the media to help us get this message out. The public should not be lulled into a false sense of security that there will be no impacts to Southeast Texas. We need to be ready if there are impacts. You can see we have state agencies ready to support, but nothing will protect a family more than a protected family taking care of themselves. So please have a family communication plan. Take time to talk to your friends and family today, this afternoon, and make sure you have the resources that you need.
Very good. We'll take a few questions. Go for it.
I'm wondering, what is this teaching us to be done for like the future of hurricane season? Obviously, we're in the peak now. What does that mean for our population?
So listen, this is a drill that we go through to show how prepared we are, regardless of the circumstances. We take serious every storm that could come upon our shore because of the devastation and even death that it can cause. Again, we focus first and foremost on saving lives. We deploy all the assets that Chief Kidd was talking about to make sure that regardless of what's going to happen over the next 48 to 72 hours, Texas and local governments will have all the resources we need to ensure that life is protected in every corner of our state. Then we want to make sure we do everything we can to protect property and to keep power on. And so we constantly work to improve what our response is, learn from past storms, take what we learned from those storms and implement it in response to storms like Francine.
Is there anything from the other particular forums that you're using to prepare for your response to this one?
So I missed your first part of your question. You say?
Is there any particular forums that you're using as like guidance of what to do for Francine?
So listen, we've gone back a long way. Well, one storm that was the biggest was Hurricane Harvey. And what the state of Texas did, we partnered with Texas A&M and Chancellor Sharp, and we literally wrote an entire book on it how to respond not just to storms like that, but to respond to storms in the future. So we take information like that that's assembled in the aftermath of a storm, turn it into a notebook that is a guide going forward. Then we constantly work to implement that guide going forward, making adjustments along the way as we learn more about better ways to respond. Let me just give you two easy examples. One thing we know that we want to minimize as much as possible is power outages. There are two very effective tools that can easily be implemented that will reduce power outages. One is vegetation removal that could impair power lines. The other is to begin using composite poles as opposed to wood poles, or some other type of strategy that will be able to withstand wind even more. So our power companies are implementing those newer technologies and techniques to make sure that their customers will be far less likely to suffer from power outages. Sure.
What resources has the state of Texas already sent to Louisiana?
Nothing yet. We have not sent anything yet. We're in communication with them. They know that the resources are available, but Texas' first job is taking care of Texans. Again, I don't want to be any of us lulled into a false sense of security that there will not be impacts in Texas. Once it makes landfall, anything that we have that they need, we'll offer support.